Wrong Turn, a horror story you won't forget. The road trip begins. Mark, Jake, Sarah, and Emily were heading to a remote cabin for the weekend. The plan was simple: drive up, disconnect from the world, and have some fun. But as the sun dipped below the horizon, their GPS started acting up. The road ahead split into two paths, one paved, one a narrow dirt road disappearing into the trees. The GPS insisted, take the dirt road. The wrong turn. Guys, are we sure about this? Sarah asked, gripping the dashboard. Relax, Mark laughed. It's probably just a shortcut. Big mistake. The moment they turned onto that road, everything changed. The trees grew taller, blocking out the last bit of daylight. The air inside the car felt heavier, almost suffocating. The first sign then, BAM! Something slammed against the side of the car. Mark hit the brakes. What the hell was that? Jake jumped out, shining his flashlight. The road was empty. No animals. No fallen branches. Just silence. The kind that makes your skin crawl. The whisper then, they heard it. A whisper. Faint, almost like the wind. But it wasn't the wind. Jake turned. Something moved in the trees. A shadow, just out of reach of the flashlight. He sprinted back to the car. Go, now. The endless loop. Mark floored the gas. But somehow, no matter how far they drove, they kept passing the same old wooden sign. The same twisted trees. They were going in circles. This doesn't make sense, Emily whispered, staring out the window. The car dies. Then, the car died. The headlights flickered off, plunging them into complete darkness. The temperature inside the car dropped. Then came the sound. Tap, tap, tap. Something knocked on the window. The smiling horror. Emily's breath hitched. Mark gripped the steering wheel, knuckles white. No one moved. No one dared to look. Then, slowly, the headlights flickered back on. And standing right in front of the car was something that shouldn't exist. It was tall. Too tall. Its limbs were thin, stretched unnaturally, its face hollow, empty. But the worst part, it was smiling, then it disappeared. The warning. The radio crackled to life, filled with static, and through the distortion, a voice whispered, "You shouldn't be here." The back door handle clicked. Sarah screamed. The door creaked open from the inside. The escape mark turned the key. The car roared back to life. They didn't question it, they just drove. Minutes later, the trees cleared, and suddenly they were pulling into a gas station. Lights, people, civilization. It was over, or so they thought. The final revelation. When they told the attendant about the road, his face went pale. That road? That road's been closed for years. People go missing out there, and they don't come back. Mark checked his phone later, trying to make sense of it. That's when he saw the photo. A picture taken from deep within the woods of their car. And in the shadows, something was watching them. Some roads should never be traveled. Some turns you don't come back from. So, next time your GPS tells you to take a shortcut, maybe just stay on the main road. You also like this story, so like my channel and subscribe and click the bell icon button.